Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another Hookster Talks with me and Mr. TB the Bear. TB the Bear, everyone's favourite bear. Don't you touch my pop stand. You naughty bear. You naughty bear. Touching my little pop stand, aren't you? Yes. You're still a Lewis Hamilton fan, aren't you? Yes, yes. I've got to tell you though, TB, he's looking a bit tired these days. He'll come back at Ferrari, all refreshed. Will he? Will he? You reckon? Oh, well, let's hope so. Let's hope so, because we need Lulu in Formula 1, don't we? Yes, we need Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1. The day Lewis Hamilton retires will be a very sad day for me, I'll tell you. Absolutely. Very sad day. He's the only personality left. Hello, all you gorgeous and sexy. Oh, you're all gorgeous and sexy people of the internet. I've just taken my Viagra, so I'm yes. Hello, Jamie Levette. He says, come on then, entertain me. Are you not? My name is Decimus Meridius Maximus, father to a murdered wife, husband to a murdered child. No, that's not right, is it? Anyway. Yes, I'll entertain you. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Oh, okay, that's it. The Viagra's worn off. I can go back to sleep now. Hello, Mr. Rugal. He says, okay, dropped in after seeing the Club World Cup draw. Nice, nice. Hello, Mr. Plynor Plessy. He says, congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning the Qatar Grand Prix. Yes, well done, Max. Well done indeed. And congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Yes. And congratulations on McLaren on winning the Constructors after 25 years. Have they won it? Have they won it? Well done. Congratulations to Ferrari on winning the Constructors after 16 years. I see. You're hedging your bets. It's going to be one of those two anyway. Congratulations to Max on putting George to rehabilitation. Fantastic, fantastic. Now, before I start, I have seen some stories before I come on air about what's happening, and Jamie in the chat actually sent quite a few pictures and stories about what's been happening between George Russell and Maxi Boy Verstappen. But before I start, I just want to put this out there, okay? George Russell is a posh twat, yeah? He's a posh twat. He's been sucking Toto Wolff's cock since he was a teenager to get into Formula 1. And that's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's what he's been doing. And now he's here. He's starting to act all big or tried to be all big and macho. And hey, I'm the boy, lads. I'm the boy. He's just a posh little twat. He's just a posh little twat. He really is. As for racing ability, I put him in the same group as Damon Hill and David Coulthard. Yes, you remember David Coulthard when he first burst onto the scene in 1994, unfortunately after the tragic death of Ayrton Senna. But when he burst onto the scene in 1994, oh my God. Hang on. I've got a message. Interrupting my live stream. Go away. Thank you. Right. When he burst onto the stream in 1994, oh my God, he had this reputation he was trying to put forward as being a playboy. If anyone remembers the 94 season, if you look at all the grid walks, yeah, and you go to David Coulthard's place where he was sort of standing around the car and whatever, he literally had a different girlfriend every single race to sort of put out this image that, oh, I'm a playboy, lads, I'm a playboy. It made me laugh. It really did make me laugh. And this is what George Russell's trying to be now. He's trying to, because Lewis Hamilton's leaving Mercedes, and so George's going to be the head of that team now, And I'm big, lads. I'm big and tough, and I'm brave. I'm very, very brave, because I'm going to take on Maxi Boy. He's a posh twat. He's just a posh twat. He really is. Anyway, let's move on. Get Michael Massey on this all season's rubbish. Says yes, absolutely. TB says DJM99. Well, as you mentioned his name, I think you deserve another look at the bear. Yes, another look at the bear. Yes, this bear takes no substitutes. You don't sit there sucking cocks. No, he says no. All right, we'll save that for later. After the stream, bear. After the stream. Part of the place says get Mohammed Ben Salami. That's what I call him because I can't pronounce it. Get Mohammed Ben Salami on this all season's rubbish. Hello, Mr. Hedian Trophy. Welcome to the stream. He says Russell is becoming increasingly pathetic. If he wasn't that much pathetic before, he is definitely increasing his patheticness. I do agree. That would be a good one, he says to Lionel Plessy. Did you hear that the Hook tour? You got to get a Hook tour on there. I have to say, I think she's brilliant. I really do. I really do. I mean, that's going to be something she's going to be able to tell her grandkids when she's 60, isn't she? I got famous for saying Hook tour. Oh dear, lovely. Did you hear that a Hook tour girl released some crypto coin nonsense and made people lose millions of dollars? Well, all I can say is, if they're stupid enough to believe anything that comes out of her mouth, then more for you. More for you. I didn't know about that, no, but there you go. Do not underestimate how much girls love a man with a cultured Scottish accent. You're talking about Mr. Coulthard. Yes, I agree with you. Yay, what does TB think of all the shenanigans this season? Well, to be honest, he spends most of his time sitting on a piece of wood just underneath my chair. I don't even let him watch the races. I'm so cruel. I don't even let him watch the races. No, he just sits there. All right, save it for later. But TB, he's got his one fan and only, and that's Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, he adores Lewis Hamilton, and he's in love with Lewis Hamilton. Aren't you? Yes. What's that? You'd like? No. Bad bear. It's going to get me banned from YouTube at this rate. Going to get me banned at YouTube at this rate. Anyway. So yes, Mr. George the Russell, watch out for that tree. Don't cry, George. Don't cry. Has been saying some things about Maxie, or Maxie's been, I don't know. This all started last week, wasn't it? When he went to the steward's room and they were all smiles, and then he went in the steward's room and absolutely destroyed Max, apparently. Absolutely destroyed him, yes. And the result of that was he got a one-place penalty, which I've never even seen in Formula One. In all my years of commentating, I've never even seen that in Formula, a one-place penalty. I didn't even think that existed. But then this is the FIA, and they change the rules every single year. Yes, and they only inform the teams they've changed the rules in February, just while they're doing testing about to start the season. They say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we've changed all the rules again." Yes, we're going to do it every year now, just for shits and giggles. Yeah. Yeah, we need that Netflix money because no one else is watching us. Put some clothes on TB. I know. And the man who told me to remove his clothes, he's not even here right now, Mr. Will F1. And he made me take his clothes off. And I agree, it's too cold for the... I know he's got fur, but he still gets cold in the winter. Let me see if I can find your little shirt. Here he is. I found his shirt. Shall I put his shirt back on? At least he'll be a bit warmer with his shirt on, won't he? Here you go, TB. Put your shirt back on. Oh, I know that Will F1. He's very weird. He's obsessed with you being naked all the time. I don't quite know what's going on there, but we won't judge. We won't judge. We'll just put TB's little T-shirt on. He's Captain Kirk because, of course, he was the captain of the Enterprise back in 1966 when the first episode was aired on the 15th of September 19... Anyway, that's not important right now. Let's just put that down there like that, and there you go. We won't bother with his trousers because, you know, They'll always come off in a flash, so we won't bother with the trousers. But there you go, Mr. D. He's got his shirt back on. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, he's got his shirt back on. Fantastic. Oh my god. Right. So yes, I haven't actually seen what's actually been going on. So let's have a look then. What shall I type in? What shall I type in? Max versus... Here you go. Max versus Russell. This is worse than the Tyson and what's his name, Jake Paul fight, isn't it? Really. I mean, could you imagine George Russell and Max Verstappen actually boxing in a ring? They'd be George. Ooh, 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 you blagger! Ooh, no, ooh, have some of that. Ooh, have some of that. Ooh, no, you bastard. Max v Russell. Here we go. Let's see if we can go to a trusted news source. Oh, The Guardian. There you go. That'll do. Always like a bit of The Guardian. But I'm not paying for it. Go away. No, I'm not paying for it. Go away. Thank you. Right, here we go then. Love it. Love it. George Russell claims Max Verstappen threatened to put my head in the wall. Well, it could have been worse. It could have gone up his arse. Now, that would have been something I would have bought tickets for. Here we go. Look at his face, lads. Look at his face. He looks angry as well. Look at him. Look at him. He's angry. He's bloody angry. And he's using that classic I'm taller than you pose. Look, I'm taller than you, Max. I'm taller than you, which means I'm better. Yes, all tall people are better. And he's got his hands behind his back. That's a classic pose of I'm better than you. George Russell has claimed his Formula One rival Max Verstappen threatened him with violence. Violence! Violence! Oh my goodness! Someone call Netflix! Someone call Netflix! There's violence in Formula One! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! I mean, this is not fabricated at all for the last round of the championship that everyone knows they're not going to even be watching. It's not fabricated. It's all true. It's all true. Threatened him with violence during the escalated tensions. This is classic. Between the drivers at the Qatar Grand Prix, the Mercedes driver said the newly crowned world champion told him he was going to purposely go out of his way to crash into me and put me on my fucking head in the wall, he said. Mummy. That's what he said, Mummy. Go beat him up, Mummy. The rotten little blagger. The accusations came after the Briton and Verstappen were embroiled in a dispute in qualifying for the race last weekend. The Dutchman lost pole position for blocking Russell during qualifying, with both drivers seeking out the stewards to discuss the incident. Verstappen, who vented his ire on Dutch television, went on to win the race, but only after a one-place grid penalty saw him start behind Russell. However, Russell has told ESPN that Verstappen said he would hurt him during the race after leaving the stewards' room. I find it all quite ironic seeing a Saturday night he said he was going to purposely go out of his way to crash into me and put me on my fucking head in the wall, Russell said. Oh my God, I can see a Netflix documentary already being made as we speak. Yes, I can see the producer, he's already typing away furiously. Yes, he's saying to himself, this is going to be better than the Senna one. I'm sure it is. Oh my God. So to question someone's integrity as a person while saying comments like that the day before, I find is very ironic, and I'm not going to sit here and accept it. People have been bullied by Max for years now, and you can't question his driving abilities, but he cannot deal with adversity. Whenever anything has gone against him, he lashes out. Budapest this year, the very first race the car wasn't dominant, crashed into Lewis Hamilton, slamming his team. As I said, these comments on Saturday night and Sunday were totally disrespectful and unnecessary, because what happens on track, we fight hard. That's part of racing. What happens in the steward's room, you fight hard, but it's never personal. But he's taken it too far now. Oh my god, this is going to turn into a boxing match on Netflix. I can see it is. Yes, and I'm buying tickets. I am buying tickets. Who in the chat wants to see George Russell and Max Verstappen having a boxing match? Who wants to see that? Because I'll tell you what, I'd pay good money to see that. I really would. Russell had wanted the incident to remain private until he saw Verstappen's outburst in the media. Well, of course he's going to outburst in the media. There's no such thing as private anymore, I just want to say. Ever since social media came in, everyone on the planet gave up their rights to anything being done in private, especially if you're in Formula 1 as a racing driver. There is no such thing as private. Oh, my Viagra timer's going off. There's no such thing as private. There really isn't. I honestly just want to set the record straight, said Russell, because it's just a total double standard that he has for the regulations and just thinking he is above everybody else. Now, I just want to juxtapose that and go on to Max Verstappen, okay, just for a moment. Yes, everyone knows Max Verstappen is a monumental cock. Let's put it that way. He's a monumental cock, yes. He's very much like his father was. Yes, he's also a monumental cock. Yes. So I'm not trying to, come on the side of anyone here, because personally I just find it funny. I really do. But yes, Max is an enormous cock. That is true. That is true. But so is George Russell. Don't forget when he was in that Williams and he had that collision with Bottas and he came out so much vile and that was his fault. Then after he saw the replays, he suddenly realised it wasn't Valtteri Bottas' fault at all, and he had to back down and say, "Oh, sorry, Valtteri, sorry, my bad, fist bump, yeah, that's it, gangster way, fist bump." So yeah, but Max, yeah, we all know Max is arrogant. His race style is very of that way, which he sort of reminds me of Ayrton Senna in a way, because Ayrton Senna was exactly the same. He had practically zero friends in Formula 1, but that didn't make any difference to him whatsoever. He wasn't in Formula 1 to make friends. He was in Formula 1 to win races, and that's exactly what Max Verstappen does. So every time you criticise Max, you just have to also put into perspective the fact that he wins races and he wins championships as well. That's the problem. So yeah, I just want to juxtapose that and talk about Max as well. Yes, he is a monumental cock. Everyone knows that. He is, just like his father is a monumental cock. Oh my God, yes. Fabulous parent. The best you could probably ever have. Yes. Yes, if I wanted a new dad, I'll tell you what, I'd go straight to Jos the boss. Not. So yeah, I just want to sort of put the record straight. Red Bull have yet to respond to Russell's allegations. Meanwhile, Hamilton had admitted he has struggled to control his emotions this season is prepared to bring the curtain down on a glittering 12-year stay at Mercedes. The 39-year-old, who signed a deal to join Ferrari from 2025 before the season, has won 6 of his 7 World Championships with the Silver Arrows, but his final campaign with the team has not been plain sailing. Hamilton made the startling admission in Qatar last weekend that I am definitely not fast anymore. Now, I want to talk about that because I did see that sort of sound bite that he gave, and I thought, ooh, Lulu, that's not something you should be doing, because obviously that went out to the worldwide media. And if there's one thing you never want to say is I'm not fast anymore when you're a Formula 1 driver. Because Ferrari, the boss of, what's his name, Frederick Vasseur, isn't it? The boss of Ferrari, he would have seen that. Obviously he would have seen that and gone, oh, Lulu. Personally, I don't think Lewis is finished. It may be the fact that he is now reaching the very end of his career. That's granted. But I've said this in a chat earlier. I just think Lewis is very, very tired right now. If you see him in interviews, these last 4 or 5 races, I think, and even before that, he looks absolutely knackered. When you're 39, just about to hit 40 years old, and you're doing a top flight sportsman's role, which is what he is. He's a top flight athlete, and he's almost 40 years old. Yeah, and you've got these other young kids who are 25 years old doing the job. It's easy for them. It's a lot easier for them than it is when you're 40 years old. Because, once you get to a certain age, everything does start to stiffen up. Ooh, matron! But also in the reverse of that, some things can start going soft. But anyway, let's move on. But yes, once you reach the age of 40, things start, you do progressively start to feel things more. You wake up the next day after you've had maybe an intense Grand Prix as a top sportsman. Obviously, you wake up and the muscles are aching a little bit more. There's a little bit more pain in your neck and pain in your shoulders, which when you were 25 you could brush that off in about 5 minutes. You just go straight back down the gym again and that'd be gone. But it's now almost 40 years old. Those things, they start to linger as well, those little aches and pains. So for Lewis Hamilton, it's more difficult at his age now to be able to keep going. And because this has been the longest season on record, 24 races, I think he is just very, very tired. He needs a very, very long rest over the winter. But I think after he's had that, I think he'll come back and he'll be very refreshed. I'm not going to say that he's going to come back in that Ferrari and start winning races straight out of the box and win the championship in 2025. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is how he's looking and how he's sort of moving about at the moment. I think he'll be a lot more refreshed once he's had a nice long break and comes back into Ferrari next year. And he's also got that to look forward to. He'll be driving a car that he's never ever driven before. He's never been in a Ferrari, so it's not like he's been yo-yoing between teams, and then he might come back to a team that he'd been in before and he'd go, oh God, I remember how these cars used to drive. He hasn't got that at all. He's going to a Ferrari that he's never ever driven before. So it's like us, really, when we get not many people can, but when people buy brand new cars and you get in it and you take it for its first drive and you're like, wow, this is nice. I like this a lot. It's the same for Lewis. He's going to be in that Ferrari. It's going to be a brand new car to him. Everything's going to be new. The team is going to be new. All his engineers are going to be new as well. So he's got to get to know everybody in that team. And don't forget, he's been cuddled in Mercedes for a very, very long time. He's been in a comfort zone of excellence where he's been the best driver, and of course he's had everything that he needed. All his physical needs have been taken care of. All his mental needs have been taken care of as well, because I understand that's a very big thing at Mercedes. Not only physically preparation, but mental preparation as well is something that's big there. All that is now gone. He's going to go to Ferrari as basically a clean slate. Everyone there is going to be new. The only person he knows is Frederic Vasseur, who he used to. I think he used to drive, wasn't it? One of the old teams before he actually got into Formula One was managed by Frederic Vasseur. Something like that, anyway. I'll have to look that up. But so he knows Frederic Vasseur, who's the boss there at Ferrari, but that's the only person he knows. Everyone else in the team, and of course, we mustn't forget, he's lost Bono. Yes, Bono. Bono's my pizza ready yet, Bono. He's my Bono. And this is going to be a big loss to Lewis. It really is, to losing Bono after so many years. That partnership, it's made me laugh over the years, because it's basically like an old married couple. It really has been, the way he just moans and moans, and Bono, he just takes everything on the chin. It's, nothing phases him whatsoever, which is a bit of a juxtaposition between Max Verstappen and his race engineer. I can't remember his name. He has on occasion got a little bit arsey with Max over certain things that have happened when Max has thrown his toys out the pram. He's got a little bit arsey, but Bono's just been absolutely brilliant. He's just been absolutely deadpan, and it doesn't matter what Lewis says. I mean, God's sake, if I was Bono, with the amount of moaning that Lewis has done in some of the races, I would honestly have done a Norman Bates and taken a shovel round his head and buried him in the back garden years ago. I really would have done. I would have buried him in the back garden because, oh my God, the moaning from Lulu was just incredible. But he just took all that on the chin. There was no phasing of him. There was just nothing. You know, there was no comebacks. It was just completely deadpan, doing the job. And that's what you need in a race engineer, just doing the job. And it's just great. But he's gone now. He's not gone. I think he's still at Mercedes. I think he's actually been given a bigger role at Mercedes now as well. But as far as that relationship goes, the bromance is now over between him and Bono. So he's going to have a new race engineer. And, you know, all this takes some getting used to. Now, it's, you know, a change, as they say, is as good as a rest. And so that could rejuvenate Lewis next year, you know, having all that. Or it could work the other way. And, in fact, he could start missing Bono. That would be a thing. He could start missing Bono, and it could work in reverse. And in fact, you know, Lewis could start actually getting worse and worse throughout the season. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the opposite of that will happen, and I say he'll be rejuvenated. Whole new race team, whole new. Well, it's not a new race team, obviously, it's Ferrari, but you know what I mean. Whole new sort of thing for Lewis to come into, and so I look with interest to see what happens with Lewis next year. But I'll say, as for this year, he just looks very, very tired, and he needs a damn good bloody rest. The poor old man. He needs to put his feet up, put his slippers on, in front of that real burning fire. Yes, if that's even a thing these days. Yes, and he needs to sit down and relax. Maybe give Nicole a call, you know, because it's probably been a few years. You know. But he just needs to relax all throughout the winter and then come back. I think they start again in January, don't they? Because I think they start a few weeks before testing. I think actually they're pretty much from straight after January starts. They're sort of, you know, preparing for the season, even though they don't go to testing until February. I think they're still preparing during January. I don't think they just sit there doing nothing. I don't think that's what happens in Formula One. But anyway, we will see what happens. So Hamilton says, it's been a very emotional year for me, and I don't think I've been the best at handling my emotions this year, Hamilton said. You've seen the best of me and the worst of me, but I'm not going to apologise, as I am human. Now, yes, I admit Lewis Hamilton is human, and I've got every respect for what Lewis Hamilton has done in the cars that he's driven, and the fact that he's won the championship 7 times cannot be disputed. Also, the thing that I love about Lewis Hamilton the most is every single word that comes out of his mouth outside of Formula One, because it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. It really is. Because in that respect, he just makes me laugh. He really does. He really does make me laugh when he goes on about climate change and the environment. And as you can clearly see there, it says Petronas on his overalls there, and they are the biggest, one of the biggest oil producers in the world. Yes, so well done, Lewis, for the climate change. And also that time during COVID when he actually taught us all how to wash our hands properly. That was a masterstroke, because I'm 55 years old and I've been doing it wrong all this time. Yeah, I've been washing my hands all right, but Lewis, he showed everybody how to do it during COVID. He showed you all how to wash it. So now I know exactly what to do. Yes, I know that, you know, you have to get your fingers in and do it. That's how you do it, and that's all down to Lewis Hamilton. So it's brilliant. I also love Lewis's fashion style, which I think is absolutely beyond reproach. It really is. His fashion style is just absolutely brilliant. The way he turns up to every Grand Prix dressed as a Teletubby, it's just brilliant. Where does he find that style from? Well, obviously from repeats of the Teletubbies on the BBC, obviously. So, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Lewis Hamilton. What he does in that car is just absolutely brilliant. And he's a 7 times world champion. You cannot. I don't care if people say, yeah, but he was always in the best cars. He was always going to win the championship. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I understand that. But you've still got to get across the finish line. You've still got to get across the finish line first. And he has done 7 times and won the championship. So I'm not going to say anything about his ability in the car because he's always been supreme in the car. What I love about and what I take a piss about the most is every single word that he says outside the car, which just makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh. I can't wait for the next time when he comes out with something that's going to make me laugh. So yes, when Lewis Hamilton leaves the sport, it'll be very, very sad. He's one of the last few remaining characters left in the sport. We've got Fernando Alonso, but surely Fernando must be thinking about going now. He's 43 years old. He can't carry on much longer. He cannot carry on much longer. I know back in the 50s you had people 46 years old in the championship as a driver, but that was the 50s. That was a completely different era. Now, they didn't have the same G-forces, the same strain on your body that the F1 cars have got now. I mean, anyone who saw that little video of Charles Leclerc when he accidentally left his microphone on, and you could hear him as he was driving along in the car, and oh my God. I was out of breath just listening to it, but you could hear how much the drivers have to go through during a race. It's quite remarkable. We just see it on the telly and see them going around and think, oh, they're all right, they're absolutely fine. But no, they actually get out of breath quite a lot as they're just driving along because it's not easy. It is not as easy as a lot of people think it is. So yes, I salute you, Sir Lewis. Don't forget that. Sir Lewis Hamilton. Sir, but as Lewis has said quite rightly, he doesn't like to be called Sir, and the Sir means about as much as the Sir in Keir Starmer, to be honest, doesn't it? Yes, it means absolutely nothing at all. But he's got it. He was knighted, and so there you go. But he doesn't like to be called Sir. But yes, I salute you, Sir Lewis Hamilton, and all the other old guys in the sport, because they are about to leave very, very soon, because there's so many young bucks champing at the bit to get into Formula 1 now. It's just ridiculous. It really is. There's a load of them in there. And of course, in 2026, we've got a new team as well with Cadillac. which Daniel Ricciardo will be driving for Cadillac in 2026. I'll get to that in a minute. The first meeting with Toto at the beginning of the year was awkward, so it was awkward from the get-go. And ultimately, I anticipated it would be difficult, but massively underestimated how difficult it would be. Realising these are the last moments with the team, it's hard to describe the feeling, not the greatest, of course. Hamilton's been beaten by his teammate Russell in 23 of the 29 qualifying sessions staged this season, and he's set to finish behind his compatriot in the championship. This weekend's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix will be Hamilton's 246th race with the team. 200 of wowzers. 84 victories and 6 world titles under his belt since joining from McLaren in 2013. I want to finish the right way with Mercedes. These days will be super emotional. It's a big unknown looking ahead. Massive excitement. Hamilton. There you go. See, he says himself he's got massive excitement for next year because it is completely unknown for him. It's a dream scenario for any driver joining Ferrari, but it's not an easy setup to join a new team. It takes time to build relationships and learn the tools. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. All right, let's go back to the comments. Blimey, I must be well behind in the comments. I do apologise. They've probably scrolled right up now. Yes, they have. Right, let's get on with them. There we go. DJM99. That's better for TB having closed. Lionel Plessy says Mr. Regala. Jamie Levette says difference is Max has loads of friends in F1 because of the track. He's brilliant. One of the funniest guys there. True, very true. Verstappen is deadly, LOL, says Mr. Regara. Yes. Hello, Mr. Champ 92. Welcome to the stream. He says, hello, dear race fans. Hello, there. Hello, sir. Welcome. Lando Norris's botling was brought up on our quiz tonight. Yes. Lando Norris. Even die-hard fans of Lando Norris have now given up on him. Yes. He also is another Damon Hill and David Coulthard. Yes, he hasn't got that killer instinct. He hasn't got that centeris that you need. He hasn't got it. He just hasn't got it, unfortunately. So, yeah. DJM99 says it's almost as though Lewis is saying he wants out. Yes, I do agree with you. Champ 92 says Lewis is still fast. He is bluffing. It's obvious to me he has done some mistakes. Everyone does. But he knew during the seat fit at Merck that his car wouldn't suit him anymore. Knackered, unsure. Yeah, as I say, he looks knackered. Alonso is older than him. Explain that, Dave. True. The only thing I'll explain to that is Alonso did leave Formula 1 for 2 years, wasn't it? And went off and did other things. When he came back, he did look fully refreshed. And I think now, but just as Alonso was leaving, he looked pretty much the same as Lewis Hamilton did. He looked very tired. He was, where was he at? He was at McLaren, wasn't he? He looked very, very tired. And so I think that's the stage that Lewis Hamilton is at now. He's looking very tired as well. I would suggest that he did the same and went off for a couple of years, but of course he's signed Ferraris. That's not going to happen. So hopefully just the winter break will be enough to rejuvenate him and get him, back on target again. So, but yes, Alonso's a little bit of, I don't know, a Superman, I suppose is what you can call him. Yes, he's definitely got kryptonite in his underpants, definitely. Because to come back and do well, it's just amazing, especially the fact that I think he's 43 years old. Now, unfortunately, this season, I don't think even Alonso would admit that it's been the best year for Aston Martin, for himself as a driver and actually for the team as well. And of course, there's big changes happening at Aston Martin when Adrian Newey takes over the development of the car side. But the trouble is that's going to take a long time to filter into Aston Martin. I understand that Adrian's not even going to be joining the team for quite a few months yet. And so he's probably going to have very little input on the 2025 Aston Martin, to be fair. Once he joins the team, he will be able to tweak the car, but he won't be able to fundamentally change it because obviously those cars can't have any sort of major revisions during a season. You can have like B-spec versions of them, but the fundamentals of that car had to remain pretty much the same. So he's going to have a sort of problem there. So I think it'll be 2026 before it will be definitely 2026 when we will see 100% Adrian Newey car. So this could be a problem. And Alonso is going to be 45 years old at that point when Adrian Newey takes over. And I just don't think he's going to cut it at 45 years old. I don't think he's going to cut it, to be honest. I mean, he's not really had much competition in that team with Lance Stroll, has he? If there was a decent driver in the Aston Martin with Alonso, I think Alonso would have been blown away. If there was a really great driver in that team, I think Alonso would definitely have been in second place. Because he's got Lance Stroll, it was very easy to sort of, be ahead of him and be like the number one driver, because Lance is just Lance. He really doesn't seem to care even to be in Formula 1. He'd much rather be a professional tennis player. But because Daddy owns the team and, he wants the work, obviously he's now in Formula 1. But in terms of being in Formula 1, I don't think Lance really cares. I really don't think Lance, it is purely a job to Lance Stroll. I don't think he's got any love of the sport that he's in, to be honest. He purely sees it as a way to make money. And that's it. It's just his job. And that's a shame, because a lot of the drivers are out there because they're passionate about, being in Formula 1. That's not the case with Lance, I say. It's just purely a job. He turns up, does his job and goes home again. As for the history and the panache and the prestige of Formula 1, he's not interested. He's really not interested whatsoever, because, he knows he's going to have a job with Daddy in charge all the time. Daddy's in charge. Although I'm still waiting for the day when Daddy actually gets rid of Lance Stroll, because that'll be the greatest day ever, that will. And imagine the conversation at the breakfast table the day after he's just sacked his own son. That'll be sensational. I also can't hear that topic anymore. If he would not feel the need to compete anymore, he would not even be there. That's true. Age is just a number in the end. Yes, each person on earth has a limit, I understand, but it always depends on how motivated you are. Bono is a goat. Yes, Bono is a goat. Leclerc says Mr. Regara might retire Hamilton, to be honest, like he did with Vettel. That's true. He might do. It all depends how much of a gap there is between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. If it starts looking like, a huge... Put it like this, if Charles Leclerc starts finishing races pretty much on the performance level that Ferrari is this year, I'm going to say, 4th, 5th, 6th place finishes. That seems to be the average for the Ferrari this year. Occasional thirds, occasional seconds, and occasional wins has been the norm for Ferrari. So if that happens next year for Charles Leclerc, he ends up basically finishing 4th, 5th or 6th on average, with occasionally some thirds, second or firsts. And Lewis Hamilton starts finishing every race in 11th place, 12th place, 13th place on average, then gets a few 6th positions sometimes in races, maybe manages to sneak a podium, then that's going to be worrying for Lewis, I do believe. That's going to be worrying for him. But we will see. It's all speculation. Lewis could come out fighting next year and really put in a good show, and then we'll all be mincing our words over that one, but we will find out. Mr. Regard says Leclerc might... Oh, sorry, I read that. Ferrari didn't focus on Vettel anymore as soon as Charles was there. Cool now that the Leclerc brothers will go out tomorrow with... yes, it is. LEC and LEC in the timesheets. Yes. That'll be confusing. Leclerc and Leclerc, the first teammate brothers. Oh, yes. Similar to Marquez and Marquez in Moto Grand Prix. Yes. Thank you, Lewis. Team LH. Yes. Thank you, Lewis. 84 wins with Mercedes. Damn. Yes. Damn. He became a 7 times world champion for a reason. It was not only the car he was given. I knew Verstappen would be the first to beat him. And what him and Max did in 2021 was a masterclass of driving. They both drove in their own league. Yes, they did. Prado Plessy says, Jeremy Clarkson once said when Lewis went to Mercedes, you move from McLaren to Mercedes. That's a bit like moving to Manchester United to West Ham. That's true. That's true. But he certainly proved that wrong, didn't he? Certainly did. But yeah, you're right. When he went to Mercedes, they weren't up there as a top team. I think they were 3rd or 4th team in the championship just as he went in there. So yeah, it was a gamble. It was a risk, but he could see something was going to happen there. And of course, obviously the hybrid era was just about to come in because he joined in 2013, didn't he, Lewis? Was it 2013? I can't remember. A long time ago, which was 1 year before the hybrids came in. So he knew that, or was it 2014? I can't. Anyway, he knew that something was going to happen there, and he did. And they came in 2014, absolutely dominated with the hybrid engines, which a lot of the other teams couldn't really get to grips with, and it took them years to catch up, especially Red Bull, unfortunately. The fact that in literally any era he can win pretty much. Only driver to win at least a championship in 3 different decades, in fact. True. Schumacher, Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen, Alonso, Raikkonen and Button. These drivers are always rated so high in F1 in any time. Fangio, Senna, Clark, Lauda, Stewart, Prost. All legends, of course. We have to say the biggest legend has to be Fangio. Not because he won that many races, because back then in 1950 there was only 9 rounds in the championship and only 7 of those were championship rounds. Just the pure fact that without the Fangio winning races, there probably wouldn't have been, much of a world championship. It was him that sort of started off Formula One being popular. And to do that, I do believe he was 45 years old when he was winning races. 45 years old. I mean, it was just a different time, though. The 50s was a different time. Men back then were a lot tougher. They'd had a lot of resolve after, of course, World War II, which finished in 1945. They were a lot more tougher than the kids of today, which just they make me laugh most of the time. So there was a tougher resolve there, and of course, just from a safety aspect as well, it was just ridiculous. They just had these cloth caps on and they went motor racing. No crash helmet, just a cloth cap. That was their head protection, just a cloth cap, and it was great to see. And these cars back in the 50s, these cars were still very, very fast. Of course, they weren't topping out at 220 miles an hour like they are today, but they were still going at a fair old rate of knots. I'm pretty sure they could still get up to about 150, maybe even 175 down some of the long straights, maybe at Monza and places like that. So they were not snails by any stretch of the imagination. And all they had on was a cloth cap, and they had goggles on as well. Goggles and a cloth cap. That was their protection from dying, which unfortunately didn't work on several occasions. But the cars as well were a completely different beast. They really were. I mean, you were sitting in a completely open cockpit to the elements. Fangio used to wear was like a t-shirt, yeah. So his arms were all exposed as well, and it was just, oh my god, just a different time in Formula One. So, but without Fangio's contribution, I don't think Formula One would have, grown to be so popular. So, because it was a long time ago, we seem to sort of take Fangio out of the equation, but he was the fundamentally most important person that started Formula One going, so he shouldn't really be forgotten about. He really shouldn't. And then of course you've got Ayrton Senna as well, as everyone knows, one of my all-time favourite drivers. I absolutely loved him, and I was absolutely in bits in 1994 when he died, for weeks and weeks and weeks afterwards. And of course Clark, Lauda, Stewart, Prost, yes, all absolute legends of the sport. And I'm just trying to think, as you're spurting out names there, whether you could actually do a list of names today that would match that. I mean, I don't think you could. Not that people are going to look at and think, yes, they were great drivers in 20, 30, 40 years' time. We're looking at this list now and looking at, Fangio, Senna, Clark, Lauda. But now looking at another 40 years, who are we going to be putting into that list? How many have you got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6 people there. How many could you put into a top 6 list today that people would look back in 40 years at? That's a good talking point. Let me know in the comments. Put down 6 drivers that you think in 40 years' time people would look back at and say, yeah, they're going to be classic. They're going to be the classic drivers. Be interesting. I would also not like to be called sir, even though some do. I appreciate it. Yes. Well, anyone can call me sir, whatever they want. I like it. Jenson Button was pretty great. Changeable condition, 300 club master. Yeah, I like Jenson. Jenson Button. JB had more in him than people gave him credit for. He beat Lewis during their McLaren days, often in 2011, especially he smoked him. Yeah, he was great. But to be fair to Lewis, he had bad luck in many races too during his McLaren days, and also he lost 2 more seasons, 2016 and 2021, close. Otherwise, he could have been 9 titles if we had 2007. It's 10. Yes, if we had 2007. Yes. On a personal level, I don't want Lewis Hamilton to beat his 7 times record because he's equal with Michael Schumacher, and I think that record should stay as 7 times world champion. I'm going to be very sad when someone comes. It's going to happen one day, I know, but I'm going to be very sad when someone comes along and beats that 7 times record. I think it could be Max. He's winning championships and he's in the prime of his life at the moment. So that's good for Max. So he's 4 times now, 3 more years, and then just 1 more year after that, and he's beaten the record. I think it's possible. I think it is possible. We will see. I even think Button slightly against Rosberg. But anyway, get Esteban Ocon on this horse. Yes. A shame that you got rid of him from Alpine before the final race of the season. Yes, I agree. Ocon had 3 podiums with them, including a win. Well, this is true. Alonso did a sabbatical from F1 to move to WEC, Indy, and then he came back to Formula One. Yeah, and as I say, I think he made the right decision. He was getting he was at McLaren when he just thought, yeah, McLaren. 2018, I think, was his last year, wasn't it? He was at McLaren. He was doing not very well. He was getting frustrated as well. So I think he made the right decision to temporarily retire from the sport, because he never actually said he was going. So he temporarily, and he went off and did other things. As you say, WEC and the Indy. And he came back, and as I say, he looked very refreshed. And ready to go. It sort of reminded me of Michael Schumacher when he left and then he came back at Mercedes. And a lot of people have derided Michael Schumacher's stint at Mercedes, saying he basically didn't do very well at all. I would have issue with that, because I think that Michael Schumacher put a hell of a lot of development into that Mercedes car, and that was the car that Lewis Hamilton inherited. So I believe that Mercedes would not have had the success that they had without all the hours and work that Michael put in to get that car to a decent level of performance in terms of drivability and traction and all that lot. So yeah, I think Michael was really, yes, it is true that his comeback into Formula One wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest, but I think the behind the scenes work that he did on that car should have had him more praise than what a lot of people gave him. They looked more onto what was happening on the track and what was happening with his teammate than actually to what Michael was doing, because he was there every day grinding at just getting that car to try and be as fast as it was. And as I say, that development then passed on to the next year and on to the next year, and that was when Lewis was dominating in 2014 in the hybrid car. So I think a lot of praise has to go to Michael there for the work that he put in those early years at Mercedes. Also had Renault's last ever podium. Yes, Ocon did decent enough. He was never a hyper driver, maybe, but he had a decent career given what teams Ocon drove. And yeah, wish Esti Besti all the best at Haas alongside Oliver Behrman. Yes. Alonso is basically the modern day Graham Hill in terms of how long he's stretching it out. This is true. This is true. I haven't checked his age. What is his age? Let's have a look. Place your bets, everyone. Place your bets. I was right. 43 years old. He was born the 29th of July, 1981. So when Adrian Newey designs the 2026 car, he will be 45 years old driving that car. 45 years old. Let's just juxtapose that. No, that's his age at death. I didn't want to know his age at death, thank you. 84 years old. Well, he had a good innings, did Juan Manuel Fangio. Good innings. How old? That's the one I want. How old was Fangio? There you go. There you go. Fangio was 46 years old. In an era where it was commonplace for drivers to race through their 40s and 50s, the legendary Juan Manuel Fangio won his maiden 1951 title as a 40-year-old. His second at 43, his third at 44, his fourth at 45, and his fifth at 46. So he was the fifth-time world champion at 46 years old. Fangio. There you go. Wowzers. Wowzers. And let's just have a look at a beautiful car that he was obviously driving back then. And there it is, as I say, completely open cockpit. There's the little cloth cap that they wore and the goggles, and that's it. That was their protection. Yes, if you look at it now with the halo, the hands device at the back of their necks to stop whiplash injuries, the helmet, of course, that they wear. You know, the what is it, four layers of Kevlar or whatever it is in the event of a fire, because of course back in the 50s, the 60s and the 70s, fire was a huge enemy of Formula One drivers, because unfortunately a lot of the times they'd end up upside down, they couldn't get out of the car, and fire was just a huge enemy. So to have like a 5-layer suit now that they wear, it's just unheard of. As I say, as you can see from this picture here, that's just a t-shirt he's wearing, just a t-shirt. Yeah. Could you imagine that these days? I mean, they wouldn't even allow it, would they? But yeah, just a t-shirt. Big thin tyres as well on the car. So it felt like skating on ice. I've driven some of those old cars on F1 games and driving games and stuff like that. And they're really fun to drive, but they are a handful. They really are a handful. And yeah, so that was it. So yes, Fangio won his 5th title at 46 years old. So there is hope for Fernando Alonso. But I definitely think he hasn't got many more years left. Definitely not many more years left. What's your take on Arthur Leclerc driving his brother Charles Leclerc to Ferrari? I think it's great. We will see what happens, but yeah, I think it's a great idea. I really do. I mean, you know, it's a little bit of a talking point for basically a race that no one's really cared about. I mean, no one cares about Abu Dhabi. It hasn't been decided, I don't think, as a championship since 2021, has it? I think it's been well wrapped up before then. So, yeah. Lol, I think Stroll likes it. No, Lance doesn't care. His F3 championship was won only because his dad invested into a special simulator only he had access to. Hello? I just heard a very strange noise. What was that? Anyway, let's move on. Good ghosts. Right, no, Lance doesn't care. His F3 championship was won only because his dad invested into a special simulator only he had access to. They played the game with cheat codes in a spec series. Wow. That's really getting your son an advantage, isn't it? Well, if age is really showing on Lulu next season as well, then it would be critical, yes. Verstappen and Alonso for WEC 2026. Mr. Regal says, because of the time United was about to win their 20th title and West Ham just came back to the Premier League. Yes. I also said Juan Manuel Fangio, Dave, yes. We also had Ascari, Farina, etc., yes. And both McLaren and United haven't won any titles since, but that could change come Sunday. But oh, it's someone blowing a horn outside, a car horn. Wow. Okay. Let's move on. But Fangio raised the bar so early in his record of 5 championships holding till Schumacher and Suzuka 2003. Yeah, have to imagine. I still believe Fangio is the GOAT to this day, but anyway, yeah, me too. Yes, a cap as a protection and no hands or seatbelts and wheelchair wheels. Yeah, wheelchair wheels. Verstappen and I suppose Leclerc, but I don't know. Dave! Hi. Oh, hello, Mr. Polish Eddie. Welcome to the stream. He says hi. Why am I always late for these? I don't know. Lewis could have won the 2010 title if it wasn't for his tyre blowout in Spain. This is true. Schumacher still holds the record for consecutive championships. Yes, he does. Pliner, what about the misfortune all the other title contenders had that year? You can always play the if game. True. Dave, newsflash. Even if Lewis had 10, Schumacher would, in theory, had 97, 98, 99, 06, 2. So, yeah, with 11, he would still be in front, Dave. Schumi is better today. Lewis even said again in the press. I don't compare with Schumacher. His words. Nice. If Max is tired, don't blow out in Baku, or if Hamilton didn't take him out of Silverstone, or if Bottas didn't screw up in Hungary. Vettel was too good in 2010, to be honest, but Alonso and Webber challenged him, sure. Vettel also had reliability issues, which made it close to begin with. Posey says, I just came by to say George Russell just made his bed with the Max rant. He's going to have to lie in it. Yes, he is. And just in case you didn't catch it at the start of the stream, I did say that George Russell is a posh twat. Yes, he's a posh twat who, as I said at the start of the stream, has been sucking Toto Wolff's cock since he was a teenager just to get into Formula One. Yes, and here we go. Now he's bigging it up as though he's the big brave man now. Yes, because Lewis is leaving, and he's going to be the team leader, and so he's trying to be the tough guy, and it just makes me laugh. It just really does make me laugh. It's bad. It's really bad. It really is. But as I say, also on the flip side of that, I had to say that Maxi boys also, and an enormous, I can't remember the word I used earlier, but as well. But we all know that, and the results of that also have to be spoken on track, and he's still winning races and still winning championships as well. But yes, there you go. So both on that sort of level, but George Russell just it's just so funny. It really is so funny. Yes, when you see a posh twat trying to act the hard man, it just makes me laugh. It really does, because you just know that that's not going to work. That's not going to work. No. 2010 was Webber's best shot at ever winning the championship. Webber was ace that season. Mark Webber was solid and gritty. Multi 21, Seb. Multi 21. I always remember that. Yes, it was great. Multi 21. That will go down in history as one of the best sentences that Mark Webber's probably ever came out with. Yes, when he got completely screwed over by Sebastian Vettel. But there you go. Sebastian Vettel was another driver, who all out to win, and that's exactly what he did at any cost, even screwing over your teammates. That didn't worry Sebastian Vettel. No, didn't worry at all. Also, when will Red Bull get rid of Sergio Perez? That's a good question. Here's the problem: they don't want to upset the Maxi Boy car. So they don't want to put a decent driver as a number 2 to Max, because there could be a possibility that he could start interfering with Max, and there's lots of permutations that could happen during that. He could start getting more sort of popularity than Max. All of that affects his Max, and they don't want that. They want Max where he is, and they want him to be the best, to be able to concentrate on what he's doing. They don't want the distraction of a number 2 driver who's possibly could be up and coming and could start to, I'm not saying that would happen, but could start to not overtake Max, but could be an equal to Max. That's the problem. They don't want an equal to Max as the number 2 driver, because it's going to distract him too much. And he doesn't need distractions, because Max has a lot of distractions in his life as it is, with like the iRacing and everything. There's a lot of other things that Max does, so he doesn't want the distraction of having a good number 2. So they leave Checo Perez in there basically as a doorstop. He's basically he's the mat you put your cup of tea on. That is Sergio Perez in a nutshell. He's the mat you put your cup of tea on. He's there serving a purpose, because unfortunately Red Bull has to have 2 cars in their team. If they didn't, they would only have Max in the team. I can tell you that for nothing. They would only have Max in there. But no, they've got to have someone else, so they put Checo in there, because he's a safe pair of hands. And occasionally he gets some points, but this season not very many. But occasionally he gets points, so he's a safe pair of hands. That's what they want. So they're not going to take the risk of putting someone in there that could upset Max in any way, shape or form. So that's basically why Perez is still there. Still there. For how much longer though? Because this season it's hurt their constructors, because it looks very likely that they're not, I think it is likely, isn't it, that they're not going to win the constructors. So that has hurt them, because there's a lot of prize money also up for grabs in the constructors for being the top constructor. So that's not good. So they've got to balance that up between the fact of having someone as a good buffer that's not going to interrupt what Max is doing, and actually losing prize money from not winning the constructors. That's all. So it's got to be balanced up. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Perez will still be in the car next year, but after that, I don't know. I don't know. Don't forget, it is Red Bull, so there is possibility of a driver swap halfway through the season. So we will find out. 43. There's been rumours this could be Perez's last Red Bull race. Well, really? Well, it could be. I don't know. I'm not in on the inside on Red Bull. It could be. It could be. Sergio Perez maybe still drives 2025 for Red Bull, but to be honest, I don't want to see him in that car anymore. I miss the old Checo who used to fight Max, destroyed him so much I don't recognise him anymore. Yeah, this is quite possibly Valtteri Bottas part 2, isn't it? Because that's exactly what happened to Valtteri at Mercedes. He was completely destroyed, wasn't he, by Lewis Hamilton? Completely destroyed. And he's never been the same since. Well, we know that because he hasn't even scored a single point at Sauber this year. And even his teammate has finally now, Guan Yu Zhou. And so, yeah, he's going to finish, I think, 22nd out of 20 cars, Valtteri Bottas. I mean, he's not worried because he's leaving anyway. But, yeah, that all sort of came down from his tenure at Mercedes with Lewis. He was, completely demoralised, and that unfortunately affected him for years afterwards. So it's the same sort of thing again. Sergio Perez was a great driver. I remember him in his Force India days. He did very well at Force India. But yeah, these last few years he has definitely dropped off in terms of performance and ability. I mean, spinning under the safety car, that was just, I mean, I know it happens because your tyres cool down and, you lose grip, but it seemed very amateurish for such a professional driver that's been in the sport a very long time. It just seemed a little bit amateurish. So very weird situation with Sergio Perez. Juan Manuel Fangio was a myth. Yes, at 46 he got his 5th insane. 1957 Nürburgring, the master at work with a final victory. On such a circuit, he did that remarkable performance. Dave playing Ghostbusters. Yeah, that was weird. I thought it was some kind of ghost, but no, it's someone banging on their car horn outside. So yeah, that was scary for a minute there. Poor Ascari and Ascari, father and son, both died on the left corner of a track on the 26th day of the month and at age 36. Wild. Yeah, that is wild. That is. Oh, thank you, Eddie. That must be reply to my George Russell. It's true. And now I've put that image in your head. You're not going to be able to get it out, are you? George Russell on his knees, and there's Tortor going, faster, George, faster, George, faster, you bitch. Oh, good boy, George, good boy, George, good boy. Oh dear. I'm definitely going to get taken off YouTube at this rate. George can't sniff Verstappen's jockstrap, man. George 0 titles, Max already 4 at 27. Yes. Oh dear. George is the type to act like he's going to stand up to a bully, but then when class is dismissed, he stays behind and snitches to the teacher. Exactly. That is him in a nutshell, isn't it? In a nutshell. He is just a posh twat. A posh twat. Yes. Multi 21 says DJM99. 14 years ago. Crikey. Was it really 14 years ago? Oh my God, I remember it when he said it the first time live. And it was 14 years ago. That's it. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm officially announcing my retirement. 14 years ago. Oh my God. Mind you, if you discount the 2 years that we lost during COVID, it was only 12 years ago, because everyone just lost 2 years of their lives during COVID. Yeah, I've never seen 2 years pass so quickly in all my life. And considering most of us were sitting at home doing bugger all, I don't even know how that's possible. But yes, 2 years just went. I went, what happened to those 2 years? I don't know. Crazy. Sebastian Vettel, one of 7 to take part in 300 races, and he did quite a bit. Yes, he did. George looks like Woody from Toy Story. Please Google that, Dave. I will. I'll Google that for you right now. You got a friend in me. Well, not if your name's Max Verstappen. Oops. Would if I could type George Russell Woody from Toy Story. That's what they should play now. Every time them two go into the every time those two go into the steward's office, they should just start blowing out, "You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me." Right, here we go. George. That's great. I love that. Let's have a look at that one. Woody from Toy Story. Reach for the sky. Oh dear. Wowzers. I love that one. Where's that other one? Let's go back one. Here it is. Woody Russell. Some things cannot be unseen. Oh, that's great. Well, we got a video. What's this? TikTok. I don't do TikTok. Full of woodworm. What? What's that coming out of his head? What's that coming out of his head? What the? Wait a minute. I've got to stick my headphones on, otherwise I can't hear anything. You can't hear anything either because I've turned the audio off. You got a friend in me. Hello? Right. Right. Let's have a look at this. Let's put the audio on.
We'll take all the positives.
Oops.
Max, do you think you could have?
I think so. I mean, we had the pace. Max was very strong at that point of the race. But then when we put the mediums on at the end, we were really, really fast. I think that mistake with Oscar when I tried overtaking him and I lost the position to Lewis cost us at least P2, and maybe we could have fought with Max later in the race. But, you know, we'll take all the positives.
Okay. There we go. Woody Russell. I think that's pretty good. I think that's definitely George Russell to a T there. Woody from Toy Story. Definitely. Yes, Woody from Toy Story. Fantastic. Oh my God. Time flies, mate. We get old. Yes, we do. Some older than others. Multi 21, Seb. Yeah, multi 21. Very true, says DJM 99. We lock it in. Ferrari FTW this weekend. They never won at Abu Dhabi. Perez literally Bottas 2.0. Yes, absolutely. You take these headphones out because I don't need them now. 2.0. Bottas was better than that. He was. Hello, Laurie. Welcome to the stream. He says Perez has performed worse than Bottas has in the last 2 years, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. But as I say, those are the circumstances why Perez is still there. He's a coaster. He's what you put your tea on. Yes. To stop the tea dripping all over your table. That's what he is. He's a coaster. That's what Perez is there for. He's there just to coast. He's not there to upset Max Verstappen because nothing is there to upset Max. So yeah, as I say, if they get a decent driver in there, that's going to really upset the apple cart, and that's not what they want. But as I say, they've got to weigh that up, as I said earlier, with the losing the constructors, because that's a big blow. It is to a team like Red Bull. It's a big blow. I don't make Bottas bad. There are rumours even that Bottas will be in that Red Bull car. Bottas in the Red Bull. Now that would be a thing to see. I don't think it'll happen, to be honest. I think Bottas has already got his other plans already into fruition. I think he's going to go cycling, I think, if I understand it rightly. Yeah, because he's a bit of a professional cyclist as well. So I think that's what he's going to do. So I think he's going to abandon Formula 1 completely. I believe that Bottas is better than Perez, but whatever. Perez spirit broken, I imagine. Oh, definitely. As I say, that amateur spin while he was under the safety car was just indicative of someone who's broken. He's been broken by Max. Not intentionally. Max hasn't done it intentionally, but he's just been broken because of Max doing well and he hasn't been doing well. And the more you start to not do well, the more mistakes start to creep in. It's like a I can't even say that word. No, I still can't say that word. You know what I'm talking about. It's a knock-on effect. That's it. That'll do. It's a knock-on effect that you start to do well, you start to do badly, and then you end up doing more and more badly. It's just, it keeps going and going and going because your teammates starts getting better and better and better, and it's all to do with demoralising. That's what it is. That's what it's all down to. If you can't believe you will win, you will never win. And that's it. If you can't believe you'll never win, then you never will win. You've got to have that belief. And if you haven't got that belief, then things start to go wrong. And that's exactly what's happened to Sergio Perez. Faster, George. Faster. Focus, George. Yes. I remember that time with George when, was it this year when he flipped the car over? And he was screaming like a little baby girl. He was going, hey, red flag, I'm upside down, I'm in the car, red flag. And even Toto come out and went, George, are you okay? Like, what are you flapping your gums about, He was, obviously, yeah, all right, the car, it was on its side. It wasn't upside down, it was on its side. But, he was stuck right in the middle of the circuit. Lots of people could see him there. And he was just absolute... Total panic. Tsunoda deserves a chance in Red Bull, especially if he's doing well in the Red Bull simulator. Yeah, I do believe that Tsunoda should have a shot in the Red Bull. Now, he would be a good number 2 for Verstappen. We know that he's not going to challenge Verstappen for positions. He's not going to be that good. But he would be an excellent, I think, number 2 at Red Bull. I don't think it's... I say that. Obviously, he is in the umbrella, isn't he, of Red Bull? So it is a possibility that it could happen. And I think he would be okay in that car. I really do. Unfortunately, he's going to end up being demoralised like Perez is in a couple of years. But I think, it'll be a good experience for him. And to see him in that number 2 Red Bull, it really would. Really good. As I say, after a couple of years, he's going to start going downhill and it's going to But to start with, I mean, I think anybody would jump at the chance to be in that position of being in a top team's car, no matter what the circumstances are. You think about what you want to do straight away. You don't think about what's going to happen a couple of 2-3 years down the line. So I think Yuki Tsunoda would be really good in that situation. So yeah, put Yuki in the car. And don't forget, he's only a little fellow and all, isn't he? Because he's Japanese. He's only like 4'8" or something, isn't he? 4'8". So obviously, the shorter you are, the less weight you are. So that would make him fly in that car. I think fly in that car. Can't be 14 years. It was Sepang 2013. Oh, there you go. So yeah, next year it'll be 12 years. 2010, I had a full head of hair back then and still have. 2010. You had a full head of hair in 2010. Well, I've never had a full head of hair. No. Oh, now Dave will have a laugh now. Would he? Yes. I love that bit. I've never had a full head of hair. I'm gonna confess to you now, but long-time viewers will know. A lot of people have questioned me over this, but this is 100% the truth. Okay? I'm not making this up whatsoever. But when I tell you this, you will be so surprised. You will go, what? How is that even possible? When I was very young, I'm talking about age 2 to 10, I had a full head of blonde hair. That's the truth. It was a full head of blonde hair. Okay? Yes, I've got pictures somewhere, but I'm not going to show them on YouTube because that's so wrong. That is so wrong. So, but yes, I had a full head of blonde hair. But I started losing my hair at 12 years old. Shock, horror. How is that even possible? Yes, honestly, it started disappearing in the middle at 12 years old. And in fact, big clumps used to come out at 12 years old. So there you go. And my hair rapidly went from blonde to very dark brown in about a year. About a year. But as I say, I started to lose it in the middle from 12 years old. Now, I struggled with it through my teenage years. I used to do the old, was it Bobby Robson comb over job where I used to get the sides and I used to comb it over to make it look like a full head of hair. And I was only like 16, 17 at the time. Yeah, 16 or 17 at the time. I used to comb it over to try and fill the hole up. I looked like one of those fryers. You know the fryers, with the big holes in the middle of their heads, but they shaved that themselves to make it look like. But I actually naturally looked like that. A big hole in the middle of my head where the hair just disappeared. And so, yeah, I used to do the comb over job. And then I reached about 25, I think it was. 25. That's right. I was going on holiday to America. One in a lifetime trip. I've never been since and probably never will, but I was going to America and I thought, I don't want to go to America constantly having to keep combing my hair over like this. So I shaved everything off completely. So I was completely bald and I shaved the beard as well because I thought to myself, well, I'm going to be out of the country for 14 days. So nobody's going to know that I've done this because by the time I come back, it'll be very short, but it'll be noticeable. So that's what I did. So I went to America and I was completely bald and I shaved the thing and that was it. And I came back from America and I went, you know what? That's just what I'm going to do now. So yeah, ever since then, I've just shaved it and that's it. Because I can't be bothered. But yeah, so 12 years old. I must admit, very unusual to start losing your hair at 12, but that's what happened. As I say, I persevered till my 20s, and then I just... That's all I do now, just shave it off. Shave it off. Except when it's winter time, I like to keep a little bit of thickness there to keep me warm. Marco continues to treat Snowden like his pet, gives him all the decent things except the very best. Yes, You got a friend in me. You got a friend. I would actually play that song, but I shall get demonetized by YouTube. But what I can do is the lyrics, because I won't get demonetized for that. So yeah, this should be George Russell's song to Max Verstappen, shouldn't it? This should be his personal theme tune to Max Verstappen. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks, I can't remember. How's it go? When the road looks rough ahead, and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed. When the road looks rough ahead. That's it, I got it. When the road looks rough ahead, and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got troubles, I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little smarter than I am. Yes, George. Bigger and stronger too, maybe. Yes, George. But none of them will ever love you the way I do. Ooh, steady, George, steady. It's me and you, boy. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. That's enough of that bullshit. Oh my God. Where'd I get to? Before I get committed. Before I get taken away by the YouTube police. I do wonder how good Lawson will be in next year's time or so. I do think he has potential. Yeah, I think he's got potential. We will see. Champ says, wowzers, my trousers, Woody Russell. They've done George dirty with that one. Yes, they have, and I love it. Woodworm. This is priceless. Just so good, so good. Plasty face. Thanks, I don't feel quite so old. Real Muppet, forever young. In my head, yes. Mercedes 2024 is pretty much doing what Renault did in 2003. Yes. Dave like Lando. It's broken, it's broken. Broken. Where is Bois, says DJM99. Ah, I can tell you exactly where Bois is. He's currently enjoying the attention of Mickey Mouse. Yes, Mickey Mouse. Because that's exactly where he is right now. He is, I mean, I don't know, he may be back by now. I mean, you know, we haven't got that type of friendship. I don't message him every 5 seconds and ask where he is. But he might be back by now. But he was visiting Mickey Mouse. Yes. And all his little drug dealer friends. Yes, he's gone to the USA. He wanted to go to the USA and get out of the USA before Trump came into office. So he went on there for a quick holiday. And of course, being December, it's a lot cheaper. Yes, a lot cheaper than going during the peak times of the summer. So yes, he's gone to the USA. It's probably just as cold as it is here right now. But he gets to see Mickey Mouse, which is more important. Yes. Yes. Settling down in fourth and then bar major comeback. Toto. George. He was cool as a cucumber. Bar, our game master, went missing. Yeah, as I say, he's currently in the US of A. As I say, he might be back by now. We won't say if he's back or not in case someone wants to burgle his house. So in case that happens, we'll just say he's back now. He's back. Yeah, he's back. I don't know if he is or not. He might still be there. But yeah, he'll be back next week, I think. It's crazy enough that the shareholders have to decide about Perez's future. He has to come thus so far, but yes, his own Red Bull management. First title that neither Mercedes nor Red Bull will win since Bull won the 2009 World Championship. Wowzers. Fantastic. Dave is hydrodynamic, aerodynamic design, no hair but more temps. Dave is shining. Yes. Dave with blonde hairs, can't imagine. I know, but it's true. It's true. Yes. I can't, unfortunately. I don't even think I got it as a picture. It might be as a digital file because obviously it was like 40. Oh my God. It was 45 years ago. 45 years ago. Oh my God. So yes, I was only 10. So yes, I can't show that on YouTube. That's probably going to break a huge amount of laws in terms of service. So yes, I can't do that. Sorry. But just trust me, I'm telling you the truth. Full head of blonde hair. Blonde hair. 10 years old. I couldn't believe it either, but yes, it's true. It's true. And somewhere I've got a digital file of it because I had a load of photos on like these little slide things, and there's a little device you can buy for your computer that you can actually put them onto your computer as digital files. So that's what I did years ago, and I got them all on there. So they're all on there somewhere. I can't find them at the moment, but they're on a computer somewhere lying about. And yes, there's me at 10 with full head of blonde hair. At 12, oh man, but yeah, it was a bummer. It was a bummer, because you're just starting your teenage years when it should be for lots of people it doesn't happen, but for some people it's supposed to be the best time of your life. And there's me every morning carrying my hair over to cover over a big bald patch. And yes, in case you're wondering, the comments did start to happen because kids are the cruelest people of them all. Yes. Kids are absolutely ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. You think about being in adult life and thinking about just this Russell and Verstappen spat and thinking about that. Compared to kids when you're 12 years old, it's absolutely nothing, because as soon as they latch onto something, they're like a rabid dog and they just never let go. They just never let go. So yes, from age 12 till about 15, my nickname was Spamhead. Yes, Spamhead. That was my nickname. My real name was brushed aside, and everyone at school used to call me Spamhead. I used to shout it from across the other side of the playground. Oi! Oi! Spamhead! Spamhead! Over here! Spamhead! Yes, I know. I was also called Uncle Fester after the bloke from the Addams Family, if anyone remembers that. Yes, all the time. Oh, look, here comes Uncle Fester. Yes, as I say, kids, the cruelest creatures on the planet, really. And when you're 12 years old, that really does knock your self-esteem down into the pits of despair. It really does. But anyway, yes, that was my two nicknames. I was mostly Spamhead, and the other one was, of course, Uncle Fester. So yes, well done. Oh my God, Dave, your story with your hair now cracks me up. Bold. Yes. Geez, Dave, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. That must have been distressing. No. Don't worry about it, Mr. DJ M99. Don't worry. I've had a lot of distressing things in my life, and I've learned over the times that, you just deal with them. Yes, it was at the time, but I can make jokes about it now. And that was basically where I learned a lot of my comedy from, because when people are taking the piss out of you, you've got two ways of going about it. You can either get depressed, go and hide for the rest of your life, or you can start coming back with some witty comebacks, and I decided to go down that route. So I used to come back with some witty comebacks back in the day. So that's what got me through. So no, don't worry about it. And if anyone wants to take the piss out of me being bald now, I have got no problem with that whatsoever, because I've been bald since 25 years old. So it's like water off a duck's back to me now, and I actually go with it. I actually go with it because I actually take the piss out of myself being bald. So don't worry about that. It is absolutely fine. As I say, if that hadn't have happened to me, I wouldn't have learned about how to do like comebacks when people said things, and I got quite good at that back in the day as well. But we won't go into that. Losing your hair at 12, such a young age, is unfair. Remember when Seb lost his and how strange it looked, for I made him going bald. Yeah, true. Yeah, when I saw Sebastian losing his hair as well. I mean, he was a lot older than 12, but yeah, he was still losing hair. Yeah, it is. It is quite distressing. But I absolutely run with it now, and it does not bother me in the slightest. So don't anyone worry about it. You can call me a bald-headed old git in the comments. It goes straight over my bald head. It goes straight over my bald shiny head, because I've got something that none of you got. I've got a lovely, beautiful eggy head. An eggy head. Yes, an eggy head. In fact, let me see if I can. Let me see. Look at that. You couldn't get a more shiny head than that one, could you? Look at that. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Just to put into perspective, though, my father also was bald very young. Wasn't as young as 12, but in his 20s he started to go bald. So it's obviously a hereditary thing that was passed down over the generations. So there you go. Funny enough, at Aston, he got his hair back again. It was a transplant. Yes, I think it was a transplant. Mickey Mouse, Wonder House, Poor Bois. Yes, good evening, Hookster. Oh my goodness. The main man has finally entered the building, everyone. Mr. Will F1 has finally entered the chat at, what time is it? 22:52. When I'm just about to finish, he's decided to turn up. Well, good evening, sir. Good evening. I hope there was something bloody good on the telly, and that's why you didn't tune into me. I hope it was very good. Very good. Pure mobbing. Evening, mate. Dave understands the sense of humour. Really appreciate your strong. Well, thank you. Yeah, it all goes over my head these days. I always say, if you can't take the piss out of yourself, you should not take the piss out of others, and that's what I've done for decades now. I take the piss out of myself constantly, all the time, and then the offshoot of that is I take the piss out of others as well. Yeah, which I like to do, especially if it's things that amuse me, like anyone remembers the WTF1 videos, because they were just really funny to me. So yeah, I'll take the piss out of other people, but I also take the piss out of myself as well, and that's a trick that a lot of people don't get or don't do. A lot of people are so far up their backsides that they can't realise that you should be able to have the ability to take the piss out yourself, and I do it constantly. I am constantly taking the piss out of myself, really do, and I love it. I really do. I used to get it bad for having big sticky out ears, freckles, tiny wonky teeth. I pretty much shut myself away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, sorry to hear that. As I say, kids are the cruelest beings on the earth, unfortunately, but it is true. Kids are, tormentors. I mean, anyone who remembers Grange Hill back in the day. Now, I may be only preaching to a few people here, because a lot of you aren't even of that age, but Grange Hill used to show what it was like to be in a school back in the 70s and the 80s in Britain. And it was a very cruel situation. Very cruel indeed. As I say, kids of about 12 are the cruelest. They really are, because they've got no filter. And God only knows what they're like these days. God only knows. But if they're worse than what they were when I was 12, then I can imagine. But anyway. Yorkshire tea is a cracking drink, says Will F1. There you go. You heard it here first. Yorkshire tea is a cracking drink. Eggy Head, Dave the Egg. Yes, Will F1, Egg. That's me. That's me. That's me. Yes, they call me Humpty Dumpty. Only when I get broken, I can't get back up again. So shiny, I can see myself in there. We can use them as a mirror. So who is that on your profile picture? Young man with dark hair. Ah, now that was made for me by a fan who I don't talk to anymore. I mean, he's still around. I still see him now and again. But he was one of my greatest fans when I first started the channel. Mostly because I started doing like the retro games. He was a huge fan of F1 97. Because I haven't done anything of that for a while, he sort of, disappeared off the radar. But I'll say he's still about. But he was a huge fan. And he made that for me. And so I've used that as my profile picture ever since, and that is, I think Mr. Will, Will's got it further down the chat. That is Christian Clean, who was his favourite driver of all time. He had this real thing for Christian Clean. I don't know why, to be honest, because he wasn't that great, but yeah, he just loved Christian Clean, and so he made that for me. And all of my profile pictures have been made for me because I'm absolutely hopeless at anything to do with like graphics, graphic design, so video editing is my thing, to be honest. I'm not into making graphics up. If anyone's seen graphics that I've made up on my channel, they look pretty amateurish, I have to say. Pretty amateurish, because that's just not something I'm into. All this Adobe Photoshop and all that lot. Not really my thing. Not really my thing. I say video is my forte, and so that's what I stick with. I stick with what I know. But so he made it for me, and that's been my profile picture ever since. And also the channel banner, F1 Games PlayStation, that was made for me as well by a man called Mr. Pepper F1, who I used to talk to on Twitter. And he was a huge fan at the time as well, like 10 years ago. As I say, people come in and then they disappear. That's just natural, not just being on the internet, but in life basically as well. That's what happens, isn't it? People come into your life, they're a part of your life for a few years, and then they drift off. And you've got to say that's the same if you're on the internet, especially if you're on YouTube as well. Lots of people come in. So I've had lots of people come in and disappear again after a few years. That's fine, absolutely fine. You just get used to it. And Mr. Pepper F1 made me my YouTube banner as well. They did all this for no money. I didn't give them any money. They just decided to do it for me. So it's very nice of them. And I've used them ever since because, why not? The channel is built by the fans for the fans. So why not get the fans to make the pictures, and I'll put them on my channel. So there you go. That's the story of Christian Clean and the channel banner as well. Yorkshire puddings are the best part of all roast dinners. I agree, but Yorkshire puddings are an art form. You've got to get them just right. If you don't get them just right, you're in trouble. So they are an art form. We should all laugh about ourselves more than we feel, much better and even more. That's true. We should. I was an ugly duckling, now a swan. Nice. Well, I just became 32 yesterday, mate. Had a decent birthday with family and loved ones. Well, happy birthday yesterday, mate, for 32. 32. I remember when I was 32. Yes, it was a bloody long time ago, but I remember it. I don't really. Christian Clean raced for Jaguar in 2004 and Red Bull 2005 and 2006 in Formula 1. Ah, yes, I can see now. Yes, that's Christian Clean. Yes, and trust me, a lot of people think that's me. I've never said that at all, but a lot of people think that is me. That is me. When people ask me, I then say, no, that's not me. But until people ask me, I let them think that it's me, because why not? Why not indeed? Of course, you've only got to look at one of my live streams and you'll see that it's not me, but, there you go. Perez, Bottas. But he was a fair driver, had awareness for others and did his job quite well, in my opinion. Dave, show us Josh's advent calendar videos. You know what? I've actually been watching these, not because they've got any interest whatsoever, Not because they're not interesting, but what I mean is they've got that because it's been the same thing now for the past 5 days. But I'm literally just about to go to bed and it pops up on my notifications. And I'm asleep in 30 seconds. So I'm going to have a word with Josh and see if he can upload just these every single day forever. Because it's better than a couple of night owl. It really is. It's better than a couple of night owl. Literally in 30 seconds. Because for the past 5 days now, he said exactly the same thing. Now, I'm guessing that because it was Christmassy, the YouTube algorithm gave him lots of views, and then now they've said, nah, can't be bothered anymore, mate. And I haven't seen what the views are like, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. So here we go. Day 1, yeah, look at that. 211 views. 211 views. Yes. And there's no content, anyone. There's no content. And then day 2, 150 views. And then it's slowly dropping off now. We've got 82 for day 3, 75 for day 4, and now finally everyone's cottoned on, and it's 34 for day 5 because every one of these videos has been the same, no different. Apparently he was supposed to have an advent calendar or something that he was going to review. It's got stuck up Yodel's arse somewhere, and Yodel is a delivery company in the UK, quite possibly the worst delivery company ever in the UK. And I don't care if they're watching because I've had stuff from Yodel which has been ridiculously late. They're a terrible company. Everybody uses Yodel in the UK, not because they're any good, but because they're very, 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 very cheap. Very, very cheap, yes. You can deliver parcels through Yodel for about £2.60. Yes. Which if you're doing it through the proper postal service can be anything like 7 to 10 quid if it's a big parcel you're trying to get delivered. But Yodel will do it for £2.60. The only problem is it'll take you pretty much 3 weeks before you get it, and it'll probably end up like a complete mess and it's broken by the time you get it, but it's only £2.60, so it's a bargain, absolute bargain. Use Yodel for everything. Yeah, not so there you go. I won't get copyrighted for this, will I? Because I don't even think his channel's monetized, is he? Because he's getting it taken away. So here we go, everyone. If you want to check this out, okay, I won't bother showing you the other 5 because they're all exactly the same. Yeah, that one is the same as that, and that's the same as that one. Now he tries to tell us that he films these one at a time, but we all know he's lying because he's wearing exactly the same clothes in every look. I bet you he batch recorded 12 of these all in one go. I bet you. Notice. Now, I always like to say, if you're going to do stuff like this, you give us an indication. But look, there's no clock anywhere. You see there's no clock? We should have a clock somewhere so we can see that they're at different times. Because I reckon they're probably made 10 minutes apart from each other, at least. So here we are. Christmas Advent Calendar. You'll love this. It's great. This is quality entertainment. It really is. Now I'm going to get done in for the adverts. Stop it. There we go. This is it. Moaning Yorkshireman Advent Calendar, day 5. Content exactly the same since day 1. Here it is.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The tidings we bring, an advent calendar from Yodel. No, not arrived. Hello everyone, welcome to this wonderful Christmas advent calendar countdown. We're on day 5 now.
And what the chuffing hell is he wearing on top of his head? And why is he in pyjamas? Why is he in chuffing pyjamas? Oh my God. I've got no words. Carry on, Josh.
And yes, we're very much clutching at straws. I mean, you knew that anyway. But we do have an update for you all. I have asked the seller of the amazing advent calendar, which still hasn't turned up. When can I expect it, mate? It was supposed to be here on the 26th of November. We're now well into Advent and there's still no sign of it, and it's still stuck at the Yodel depot. Any signs, any ideas? Didn't get an encouraging response, sadly, from the seller, supposedly called Jenny.
He bought from a seller called Jenny. I mean, what is going on with this lad? I mean, he bought from a seller called Jenny off of eBay using Yodel. I mean, all those combinations together are just a recipe for a catastrophe. They really are.
Not believing that, I'm afraid. And it said, "Thank you for your purchase." Well, thank you. Yeah, I know. I purchased it. Unfortunately, due to the busy period of Thanksgiving, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and I ordered it well before Thanksgiving, so it should have already been here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Item.
Where the hell did he buy it from? Afghanistan? What has Thanksgiving got to do with getting Yodel to deliver a parcel in the UK? When we don't even celebrate it. That's weird. By the way, never trust a seller called Jenny.
Have become delayed and clogged in the system. Our distributor's system was the correct terminology. Well, the Yodel... I don't know. So yeah, anyway, it's become stuck in the systems, apparently. Please allow till the end of this week for it to arrive. Now, we're on... What are we on now? Thursday? So, when do I give it to? Sunday? And then what do we do with this series? Then am I just going to get my money back? I don't know. So yeah, due to Thanksgiving, guys, is the reason why we don't have the Advent calendar. Nothing to do with the fact that I think I've been scammed out of £11.37. But...
£11.37 for a chuffing Advent calendar? Oh wow, Jenny must have seen him coming. £11.37? Are you kidding me? Are you having a bubble bath? Who the hell spends £11.37 on an Advent calendar? Sorry, carry on.
Or, is that just me being the pessimist? Are we actually going to get it? Who knows? We're on day 5 now. It's not arrived, and we're still left with the Paw Patrol Christmas Advent Calendar countdown.
So all he's got is a Paw Patrol Advent Calendar. Okay, now this is a huge problem. When this proper Advent Calendar turns up, it's going to be like day 12, isn't it, before it gets there? So, he's going to have to polish off all those Paw Patrol chocolates that are still left. Because, I mean, you can't leave them, can you? And then he's got to demolish 12 new Advent Calendar chocolates before he can even start making his Advent Calendar series. I mean, this is just an X-Lax advert just waiting to happen. It really is. He's going to need some serious doses of Movicol to shift that out, I'll tell you afterwards. Because, that's a lot of chocolate. That's a lot of chocolate. It really is. So anyway, there you go. Go and check out his Advent series if you need something to fall asleep by. Because we're on 2 minutes and 11 seconds here. That's usually about the time when I go... So it's great. Josh's Advent Christmas videos, better than a good dose of night owl. Guaranteed. Right, anyway, it's time to wrap up the stream, everyone, because it's nearly 11. It's gone 11 o'clock. Bloody hell. Right. By the fans, for the fans. Dave was 32 in 1932. Right, I'm off to bed and I'm on a promise. A promise that the wife won't snore. Wish me luck. Good night. Oh, thank you, Mr. DJM99. Good night to you, sir. Good night. I'm just about to go as well, so you're not going to miss anything. Good night, DJM. LOL. The Moaning Yorkshireman. Good lad. Here he is. Midnight hour. Lovely, jubbly Josh. Dave. That was good vocal by Josh. Chuff in pyjamas. His accent strikes. He's been wearing the same pyjamas in all 5 so far. Josh contacting Jenny just shows the age range. He should go for it if he wants any chance of getting the ladies. Yes, he should. He should. Afghanistan. Oh, Josh, America's that facial expression. Like a surprised fruit, Laurie. Those pyjamas have made him look fatter than usual. Now, let me just say, Mr. Laurie, I wasn't going to say anything, but You've let the proverbial cat out of the bag, so I'm gonna zip it. I'm gonna zip it right there. Dose of hopium. Rest in peace, King. Yeah, they have, Laurie. Damn it, I was enjoying that. Thanks, though. Don't worry, they're all the same. They're all the same. Anyway, that's it. Right, it's the last Grand Prix of the season. Thank God, at Abu Dhabi. So there you go. We've got something to look forward to. Thanks so much for joining me in the chat tonight. This has been another... I don't know what. It's been another something. Thanks to Laurie for joining us, to Will F1 as well, to Champ 92, to GTM 99, to who else did we have? Mr. Regara, thank you, sir. Still don't know your first name. I'm working on it. Unfortunately, YouTube won't translate it. So it's a problem. It's a problem. Polish Eddie, thank you, sir, for joining me in the stream. And of course, Mr. Plynal Plessy. Who can forget Plynal Plessy for being in the stream tonight? Thank you very much. I think that was everybody. No, I forgot Helium Trophy right at the start. And I forgot Jamie. Oh my God, I'm going to get persecuted now. Persecuted. Plynal Plessy and Helium Trophy was there right at the start of the stream. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for joining me on the show tonight. What a stream again. Show us the point standings. Now listen, young man. You pack this in now. He only wants me to do the point standings because he says to me during his numerous comments to me on YouTube, which come to about 100 comments. So it's just every time I put YouTube on, there's another Will F1 comment. And he keeps saying to me that that he wants me to go to the points because he says that I do it very, very boringly and go on about the points for like half an hour. That's why he wants me to do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pander to you, young man. No. But if there is a show next week, I don't know if there is next week or not because the season's over. If there is one next week, I'm going to do the final point standings and it's probably going to last about 4 hours, Will, just for you. Just for you. I'm going to do an in-depth analysis of every single point that every driver scored, where they scored it, how they scored it, what position they were on the track when they scored it, just for you, young man. So let that be a lesson to you. Race fans in the stream, and yeah, have a lovely, jubbly good night, everyone. Yes, thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. You have been awesome, as always. Grand Prix on Sunday, last race of the season. Thank God, thank God. 24 rounds has been too much, too much. I may be back next week for a final Hookster Talks, or this may be the final one of the year, but I will still be back in sporadic periods for specials. I may be back for a Christmas special as well. So don't worry, I haven't disappeared. I'm not going to disappear now until March. I will be back for some specials. I may even be back next week to actually wrap up the season and to wrap up the stream. So don't worry. But anyway, for now, thank you, everyone. You've been awesome as always. In-depth analysis. Yes, you've been awesome as always. And I will catch you for the next video, which will be the All Seasons on Sunday. Thank you and good night. Oh, and if your name's Laurie, you might want to check out the All Seasons on Sunday. Good night, everyone.